happy. And that's just the nature of it.
Related to that, Hennessy was a Friday starter last year. He goes to the bullpen to start this season, but then by the end of the season, he really worked his way back into the rotation, one of your more reliable starters. Do you think that will serve as motivation for him going into this offseason?
Well, Jacob's motivated regardless. I mean, he's been a motivated kid, one of the most motivated kids we've had on our pitching staff in the 3 years that he's been here. I mean, he's one of the hardest workers on our team. All I'm looking for out of Jacob is consistency. And I think that's the big key. If he wants to be a weekend starter this upcoming year, he's got to be consistent. Again, it's not hard to figure out. If you want to start, and what we're looking for, again, we didn't do a good enough job of this year. We need to find 3 guys on the weekend who can get us into the 6th and 7th inning. Nothing excites me more to be able to see a guy go into the 7th. That didn't happen a whole lot this year. We need guys that can get us into the 6th and 7th inning of a ball game. Can you get through a lineup a third time? That's the biggest challenge that we run into with starters. So that's a huge area of focus for us this fall. You asked me what we need to get better at. We're going to start everybody in the fall. So everybody's going to start. Every pitcher on our staff is going to start. And we're going to stretch these guys out. And we're going to see who can start. Who can pitch with runners on base. Who can give up a run or two and go back out there the next inning and throw up a 0. We've got to find who can do it. I think that's the biggest area of focus for me. Is you ask me how we're going to change. We got to change the way we practice. You can't change the way you play unless you change the way you practice. So the areas of focus are going to have to change, and we're going to start everybody. And if that means we got to inter squad every game this fall, then we're going to inter squad every game this fall. But we're going to find out when the season starts who's going to start. You're going to get an opportunity to start and be stretched out. We start one guy, you're going to have a guy behind him that's going to pitch just as many innings, throw just as many pitches. So everybody's going to be stretched out, and we're going to find out going into the season who can start. And the guys that are starting for us, that means they earned it. So we're not going to put a guy into he's a reliever, okay? This guy's going to start. This guy's going to start against these 2 guys. We're going to stretch them out. We're going to see who's the best guy on that day. And we're going to repeat and repeat and repeat until we figure out at the end of the fall going into the spring, we feel real good about these 4 or 5 guys because of what they've done all fall. Who can pitch with runners on base, and on the other side, who can hit with runners on base. That's the name of the game. Bottom line is the guys that can pitch runners on base and hit with runners on base wind up being really good for you. They help you win ball games. So on the offensive side of things, we average 6.49 runs per game. Our goal is to score 7 runs per game. That's a lofty goal. You average 7 runs per game, you're going to lead the ACC in offense. Everybody talks about batting average. Quit looking at batting average. Batting average does not dictate or indicate how good your offense is. Look at runs scored per game. The teams that are scoring 7 runs per game, they're elite offenses. We're at 6.49. We need to score 7+ runs per game. We get to where we can score 7 runs a game, we're going to win a lot of games. That's where we need to get to. How do you do that? What did we do this year? Well, we stole a lot of bases. We still hit some home runs, okay? Still not scoring enough runs, okay? Why? Struck out too much. And we got to get better at putting the ball in play with 2 strikes and competing with 2 strikes and forcing the defense to make plays. Defensively, we fielded 972 this year. That's pretty good. That's a good defensive ball club, okay? Well, opponents fielded 973 against us. So we didn't put enough pressure on them over the course of a 9-inning game to have to make plays. They didn't have to make a whole lot of plays because we either hit it off the, over the fence, in the gaps, or we popped up or struck out. So we got to put more pressure on the defense in a number of different ways. We got to get better at the short game. We got to be able to get a bunt down late in the game with runners on first and second, move those runners over, and then when we get them over, we got to be able to get them in. Those are the areas that we got to improve upon. Situational hitting, 2-strike hitting. Defensively, I felt like we were a pretty solid defensive ball club. Again, we weren't perfect, but nobody is. But I felt like defensively we were okay. Pitching-wise, we need to get deeper into the game. That's going to be a big piece for us.
Guy we haven't brought up's intriguing to me, Holt Jones.
Mm-hmm.
He's got that plus fastball.
Yeah.
Working with him this year on getting a better secondary pitch
Yeah.
to kind of keep batters off balance. And Where do you see him kind of fitting in next year?
You know, Holt's another guy that wants to start. And he's
Does he?
he's going into year 3, and he wants to start. And our end of the year meeting was very good. I think we're both on the same page. He's in the Cape as well. Holt's got to be able to throw more than just a fastball. You're right. He's got a good slider. He's got to be able to throw it more. If he wants to start, he's got to be able to throw 3 pitches in the strike zone like every other starter. So he's got to develop a changeup, and he's got to be able to throw his breaking ball in the strike zone and locate his fastball. You know, Holt's got to become a pitcher. Holt's a guy that's got a tremendous amount of upside. He throws really hard. And he pitched that way this year because that was his role. You know, his role was to come in pretty much first guy out of the pen a lot for us, and he pitched to that type of role. He wants an opportunity to start. For me, he's got to be able to throw 3 pitches in the strike zone, and if he can do that and execute his fastball at the bottom of the zone, he gives you a chance to be that type of guy. So, you know, hopefully over the course of the summer he works on those things, and when he comes back, we'll see a guy that could potentially do that.
Do you foresee any staff changes on the field, off the field, anywhere?
No staff changes.
Academic Common Market went away
Yeah.
in March.
Mm-hmm.
Did that affect this year's recruiting class, the kid that with the Rangers?
Yeah, well, I mean, the Academic Common Market, I think, you know, the simple answer on it is we no longer have it. And we're not going to make any excuses about not having it. You know, how we compare to other schools, we don't have it anymore. So for us, you know, we just got to move forward and try to sell Clemson for what Clemson is. I mean, Clemson is an unbelievable academic school with unbelievable resources. We've got great facilities. We've got a great baseball tradition. There's a lot of kids across the country that want to come to Clemson, and, you know, that's what we got to focus on. We no longer have the Academic Common Market, and we're not going to use it as an excuse. We're going to move forward and recruit the way we've always recruited, and you know, that's just the way it is.
How much do you foresee the transfer portal being integral in baseball? We see it a lot, obviously, in football and basketball.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, the transfer portal, you know, it is what it is. There's kids that want to seek other opportunities because of maybe limited playing time or role at the school that they're at. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. I think kids need to be able to put their name out there where other schools can see that, you know, these kids are here and looking for an opportunity. And if it's a need for your program, then you have the opportunity to look in there and see, you know, who's in there and how they may be able to help you. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean, it gives kids an opportunity to put their name out there and see if there's maybe a better fit for them somewhere else. It's just, you know, it's a reality. So I think what you're going to see in baseball, or what I think is going to happen is, you know, again, there's kids now that, you know, if they're not on aid at a school, they can go into the portal and they don't have to sit out anymore. So you're going to see more and more transfers, I think, in college baseball than you have in the past. But I don't think it's going to be significant. We don't have anybody in there. We don't have guys transferring. You look at our APR. And look at our academic progress rate at Clemson over the last 4 years. We're in the top 10 in the country in academic progress rate. So our kids that are coming in, they're here, and we don't have a ton of attrition when it comes to transfers. I think kids overall like their experience here at Clemson. Again, it's a great university, a great place to go to school, and I think our guys enjoy playing in our program. So, you know, we don't have a lot of attrition in that regard. But as far as the transfer portal goes, it's a reality. Kids want, if they want another opportunity, if they don't feel like they're getting the right type of opportunity where they're at, it gives them an opportunity to put their name out there and see what they can find.
Going back to the ACM really quick,
Mm-hmm.
and I know you would never make excuses, but
Mm-hmm.
in a lot of ways your hands are tied because out-of-state tuition here is
Mm-hmm.
49 to 51, and
Mm-hmm.
kids are having to play. South Carolina has,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to call it funny money, but they have money that they can play with to take care of that,
Mhm.
where out-of-state isn't so big.
Mm-hmm.
Vanderbilt has,
Mhm.
it's really not a level playing field.
Well, you know, again, I think there's schools that are out there that have needs-based aid opportunities, financial aid opportunities, you know, things like the Academic Common Market where, you know, they can get in-state tuition costs for kids out of state. You know, there's a lot of schools out there that have it, and quite honestly, we don't have it right now, and it just is what it is. I mean, for me, it's not about saying, well, we're at a disadvantage because we no longer have it. We have to find advantages to what we have. I think that's the message. Again, I don't make excuses. We're not going to make excuses. We're not going to find reasons why we came up short or we're not where we want to be. The bottom line is we've got to go out and get the best players that we can get from across the country that want to come to Clemson, and that's what we're going to do. If we need to change the way we recruit or the areas that we need to recruit to fill those needs, then we will. But as far as not having it anymore, it is what it is. We no longer have it, and we got to move forward and, again, sell Clemson for what Clemson is. We're going to be fine. We're going to be able to recruit at a high level across the country because the Clemson brand is so big. It's nationwide. We've got a great product to sell here as a school and as a program and as a community. We've got a tremendous fan base. So there's a lot of positives to sell, and we're just going to move forward.
Is that one of the things that you had talked to Dan about? Is there any other way that you can help?
Again,
they can do?
The conversations between Dan and I are between Dan and I, and again, I haven't had very many conversations about it. The bottom line is when we found out we didn't have it, it's just move forward without it. There's no point. My whole thing as a coach is there's no point in making any sort of excuse for anything you don't have. Or, we're coming off a season where we won 35 games, we didn't win a regional. There's no excuse for why we didn't finish better.